record this conversation. Okay, we are now recording. So thank you all so much for coming. Gracias, obrigado. There's a reason I did this gathering today. There's a strong movement to make October 11th Indigenous People Day, because it's the day before Columbus' arrival in the Caribbean, October 12th. So we are here today, October 11th, together on the Zoomniverse to celebrate the book. The book is one of two books that are coming out as a result of the colloquium that we organized in February of last year, right before the whole world shut down for travel, and we had to be even more digital than we already were. And from the amazing papers and the amazing scholars that came to Austin last February, we now have two books. This one is completely ready and printed, and Leora just saved a bunch of books from an office that was in the locked building, and we'll put them in the mail soon for the authors. And the book is available on Amazon. I will put the link later for everybody who wants to purchase the book. But before I talk about the book and before I call on the authors to comment on their chapters and the book in general, I want to give a big thank you to Leora Vysotsky. The book will not happen without her. She is the force behind all those publications that the Center for American Architecture and Design makes. She is extremely professional and efficient on her job. She really, I mean, there's nobody makes books that I know better and with more care than Leora. So thank you, Leora. And I hope Heather was here too, along with Dave. Dave is the designer of the book, and Heather was the research assistant and copy editor for most of the chapters. But thank you, Leora. The book exists because you make it.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure to work with all of you.
And now you get to see everybody together. Well, let me invite my colleagues to talk about the book then. I don't know, Felipe, do you want to start? And
Hi, Fernando. Thank you. No, thank you. I mean, I first want to say thank you, Fernando, for coordinating all this. I think that we organized the conference together, and this was, as you put it quite correctly, Fernando, the most productive beer that we have ever had. Back in Providence, when we met to toy with the idea of organizing a conference about decolonizing the spatial history of the Americas, and then it realized itself in less than a year. So that was great. But from that point on, Fernando took on the most of the work. He is the powerhouse behind the book. So I want to thank you, Fernando, for taking this job. I think this book and the one that is coming next are really an accomplishment in terms of trying to solidifying this agenda and this enterprise that we all are committed to. So I just wanted to thank you and to recognize the effort of all the authors in sort of engaging with this enterprise of questioning the terms in which the history of the architecture and space in the Americas has been written and studied scholarly for so many years. So thank you. This is also a personal commitment. I've been working on the subject for a few years, and I guess that what we wrote here in this book was an attempt to set up a much broader and wider and ambitious agenda to start revising how we speak about our buildings, our spaces, and our cities, and how is it that we can recognize so many other people and so many other practitioners who have participated in the construction of the spaces where we live, but also to evaluate and to assess and to question concepts that are sort of somewhat that have remained for such a long time so solid in the history of architecture. Like, for example, the notion of the architect, you know, the single architect, the male architect, and also the question of the notion of architecture as produced by people who have been trained at schools of architecture, which are accredited by professional bodies in all these different countries throughout the Americas. So how is it that we can begin to assess, reassess, and rethink notions such as the architect and architecture, and through that effort then begin to rewrite, not entirely, but certainly complement and fill in the gaps of that history that we all know. So it's an effort about thinking collectively, other ways in which we can think space in our continent, in our countries, in our cities. So thank you very much. I think this was a great pleasure for me to collaborate with all of you in the conference, but also in the production of this book. Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe. I have the book here in front of me, and the background feature of Zoom that hides my messy house also hides the book. But I have the list of chapters here, so I will call on the authors on the list that it's on the book. So mi tocayo Fernando Luis Martínez Nespral is the first one to say a few words.
Bueno, ¿puedo hablar en español?
Claro, claro que sí.
Bueno, muchas gracias. Quería agradecer, es un honor participar en este libro con tantos queridos colegas y aparte creo que es muy valioso, no mi humilde producción individual, pero sí el conjunto es muy valioso porque, como venía diciendo Felipe antes y como dijiste tú, tocarlo al principio, hay muchos huecos por llenar en esta historia, digamos, se ha contado muchas veces la misma historia y hay muchas historias que no se han contado. Y en ese contexto creo que hay todo el trabajo que estamos haciendo y que varios de los que estamos participando aquí es ayudar un poco a esa simple cuestión, nada más. No entro en detalles sobre el capítulo en sí, porque creo que lo interesante es la cuestión colectiva.
Gracias, Tocayo. Ruth, are you there? Ruth.
Yeah. I had to change places because the connection was very bad in the living room, so I came back to the internet problems. I think it was so much interesting to look at my work, my previous work, through other lenses, because Fernando actually asked me to talk about brutalism, and this was the research I did some years ago, and I had moved on in that, and in the beginning I said, oh, I don't know if I really want to do that, but then it was very interesting because in order to understand what was called in this conference, what was the focus of this conference, I had to revise my assessments, my ideas, and seeing them from another light. And that really brought me some interesting new, not quite new, but other ways of looking at my work. And it was a nice opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed too, in a way. It was very enjoyable and meeting all of you and hearing all these contributions. And I think the book will be also a very interesting contribution. Thank you.
Obrigado, Ruth.
Nada.
Patricio, you're next on the...
Acabou me saindo em inglês mesmo, sorry.
That's okay. We all speak a bunch of European languages. I always remind my students that we fight a little bit and we kind of position ourselves with a bunch of European languages. I mean, I wish we could speak Guarani like Irina does, or Nahuatl or Quechua, or yeah. But yeah, we are a bunch of dislocated Europeans, right, Patricio?
Yes, continuously dislocated, siempre pidiendo prestado idiomas y lugares y situaciones, ¿no? Pero bueno, nada, yo hago eco de lo que ya se ha dicho, que es un placer participar en el conjunto, ¿no?, del libro de participantes. I don't know what I'm actually speaking in Spanish, but nonetheless it just came out that way. Y nada, verdaderamente fue para mí un placer por poder volver nuevamente, ¿no?, este tema que sigo tocando sobre el Museo de Arte Moderno, sobre el MoMA, y tratar de, ¿no?, en gastarlo, posicionarlo dentro de una perspectiva mayor que pueda contribuir, ¿no?, a tocar una historia que supuestamente está más que conocida, pero si lo vemos desde otros puntos de vista, si la posicionamos, ¿no?, dentro de las dinámicas, ¿no?, continentales, podemos volver a tocar una historia de nuevas maneras. Y eso un poco fue lo que trato de hacer, y bueno, y participar dentro de lo posible. Creo que esto va a ser una contribución importantísima, ¿no?, a una nueva dirección que el libro está contribuyendo, y que ya va siendo hora, ¿no?, que se marque en las dinámicas tanto de las discusiones transnacionales e internacionales que nosotros hacemos, pero también en nuestros cursos, en nuestras clases, ¿no? Esto es algo que comparto, ¿no?, contigo, con Fernando, y obviamente con todos ustedes, que esto es algo que hay que traer a nuestros estudiantes, y lo importante siempre es tener en mano, ¿no?, las herramientas para poder tener estas conversaciones con nuestros estudiantes. Y bueno, y por eso le agradezco a todos ustedes la posibilidad de asignar estos ensayos a mis alumnos para que puedan discutir y bueno, y promover este tipo de pensamiento que como todos sabemos es increíblemente importante hoy día. Pero bueno, lo dejo ahí.
Gracias, Patricio. Thank you. Luis, eres la próxima.
You said it was a party. Dijiste que era una fiesta. Y yo dije que yo llegaría con el tequila virtual para la fiesta.
Yeah.
Porque eso es totalmente fuera, es de todos, prácticamente de México, pero que tiene que ver con toda América Latina. Bueno, después de eso, no sé, tal vez haciendo un poco referencia a sobre qué escribí yo, yo me había acercado en los meses anteriores a enviar mi propuesta a la obra de Marina Weissman, que tiene este carácter, de una visión de América hacia afuera, sobre todo en el tema de, en el artículo que tiene que ver con la arquitectura descentrada, y un poco ese fue el tema sobre el cual yo armé mi presentación, pero realmente más que basada, analizando, buscando entender, buscando poner nuevamente frente a las nuevas generaciones de estudiantes, sabiendo que esto sería una publicación por parte de una universidad norteamericana, poner frente a ellos el pensamiento de Marina y sus magníficos escritos. Claro, escritos que son difíciles de conseguir, pero que Espero que esto despierte ideas en los jóvenes y que tal vez eventualmente podamos reeditar algunos de estos.
Gracias, Luis. Muchas gracias. Y bueno, bebemos la tequila entonces en homenaje a Marina, porque fue una decolonizadora muy temprana, ¿no? Muy avante de su tiempo. Kate es la próxima en el listado de autores aquí y
Pues ya
domina
no
las
sé.
dos lenguas mejor que todos nosotros.
Ya no sé. Sí, pues ya seguimos en español, ¿verdad? Pues ya está todo. Bueno, yo siempre me siento fuera de lugar porque soy como que la investigadora que trabaja en la periferia de la periferia, en Michoacán, que en una ciudad que no es una gran ciudad, en una ciudad que no tiene grandes arquitecturas modernas. Y ahora el tema que trabajé, que también estaba como muy preocupada por ligarlo con el tema del coloquio, ¿no? Que era la enseñanza de la arquitectura. Entonces, bueno, pues abordé este tema de cómo en Michoacán se fue desplegando el imaginario de la arquitectura rural, ¿no? Que hemos platicado mucho con Luis, que muchas veces son arquitecturas modernas en muchos sentidos, pero con este imaginario de lo rural. Y para discutir un poco más, o sea, cómo el complejizar la historiografía con estas otras maneras de hacer arquitectura, y en este caso, pues una arquitectura que muchas veces se clasifica como neocolonial, pero que tiene otra intención. ¿Cómo nos invita a enriquecer nuestras clases de historia, ¿no? En la enseñanza de la historia de la arquitectura, pues ver esta agencia local y cómo muchas veces cuestiona las grandes narrativas. Yo estoy muy agradecida contigo, con Felipe, sobre todo por organizar el coloquio. Fue una gran experiencia y además pues le recordamos mucho porque fue la última salida del último congreso. Muchas gracias, Fernando.
Gracias, Kate. Bueno, Victoria, ¿estás ahí detrás
Sí,
de
sí.
este UPB? Sí.
Sí, esa soy yo. ¿Cómo están? Un saludo desde acá, desde Medellín, desde mi oficina en la universidad. Bueno, también a darles un saludo muy especial a todos. Me alegra mucho verlos por acá. Hay varias cosas que yo quisiera como compartir de las reflexiones que me quedan de ese encuentro, del texto. La primera tiene que ver con algo que empieza a suceder y descubro a través de un columnista en un periódico colombiano que es muy irónico y empieza a escribir sobre los decolonistas. Entonces, la última columna que leí de él era: la modernidad tiene dos enemigos, los que quieren volver a la colonia y los decolonistas. Y bueno, es bastante provocador. Y yo creo que hay una interpretación tan compleja y tan, bueno, no limitada realmente, pues la perspectiva que hay sobre la mirada de colonialista. Y creo que es algo que nosotros pudimos demostrar en ese encuentro y con los aportes de cada uno, y es que realmente la decolonizar o descolonizar realmente, que el decolonizar es un anglicismo que nos trajimos para el español, el descolonizar, está muy relacionado es con ampliar el discurso, más que ir más allá de la crítica a la modernidad que está ahí y es válida. Yo creo que es importante criticarla, no pues como este amigo que no considera que lo que hacen los decolonialistas sea criticar, sino ampliar la perspectiva y con ello enriquecerla. Y creo que esa es una deuda grande que teníamos, y yo en ese sentido considero que el encuentro que tuvimos fue un encuentro histórico. Me parece que es un encuentro que fue clave porque es el primer encuentro del que yo pues tenga conocimiento, donde se lograron concretar distintas posiciones frente a lo que significa decolonizar esa historia del espacio en América, en las Américas en general, y creo que es un paso interesantísimo el que pudimos dar desde perspectivas muy diferentes. Yo no, sí, lo hablábamos en esa, también durante el encuentro, que lo que hacemos historia crítica o hacemos, o es realmente de descolonizador lo que estamos haciendo, pero yo creo que ahí van de la mano y me siento muy cómoda con la posibilidad de participar y de también de aportar como a la apertura de esa historia más amplia y más compleja, que creo que es necesaria y hacía mucha falta. Entonces, no, pues unas felicitaciones muy grandes a todos por la participación en este encuentro. Creo que fue muy necesario. Y también fue mi última salida ya de ahí. Aquí quedamos encerrados en la ciudad. Entonces, sí, muy especial. Muchas gracias, Fernando, por la invitación. Y sí, realmente, cuando vuelvas a invitar a una fiesta, es una fiesta. Esto no tiene nada de fiesta, lo siento en el alma. Me siento
parece que en 30 minutos tenemos que todos salir a tomar un drink. Tenemos que buscar un drink.
En
Luis
honor
ya
a...
tiene el suyo,
Sí.
tenemos que buscar el nuestro. Let me switch back to English because Dave McClinton joined the call, and Dave is the designer of the book. So Leora was the engine behind the book from the copy editing through the production, and Dave is the one who designed this beautiful book. So thank you, Dave. We want to send you a big thank you.
I'm super happy to have been part of the project, and it's so great to see faces to the names that I've been reading for all these months. It's great.
Thank you. I want to say something about the students, because the students, they push us, they make us move, they dislocate us all the time. And Barbara and Irina are here, and they have chapters of the book. Victoria is a previous student. You know, the advisee relationship is forever. There's no divorce. It's for the rest of your life. Raksha is also here in the call. Victoria was actually the one that, to me, had a very important pivotal moment, because we were reading Escobar, we were reading Mignolo. That was 10 years ago, when we are kind of immersing ourselves in that conversation. And Victoria was putting together her PhD dissertation, and one day she kind of cornered me and said, Fernando, I don't have a theory. I feel like my dissertation has no theory. And I had to reply, Victoria, it has to be the decolonial theory. That's the thing. That's the thing that we are discussing. That's the thing we are working. I was not so sure 10 years ago that was the way to go. You pushed me in that direction. You kind of checkmate me on that thing. Like we have to do it this way. So with those words, let me invite the other two authors that are here today, Barbara and Irina, to keep pushing us.
Maybe since you're following the contents list, I'll just jump first. Muito obrigada, Fernando. Muchas gracias, Felipe. Thank you so much, Leora, for the hard work, and Dave now also. Thanks for the opportunity first. Thanks for the amazing input for the text, and also for the conference and pushing us forward in the discussing architectural history, and in my case also looking at it through the heritage lens. I follow Victoria here saying that this was an amazing moment, maybe a bittersweet it was the last time you all met and sat together in a big auditorium room and discussing our work. And for me, the essay I wrote for the book, maybe looking as a report or reflections on the conference, actually helped me push forward maybe the first text that is coming into one actual piece for my dissertation work. So looking at the built environment, heritage, human practices, and cultural landscape, but tourism, all put together in the same umbrella that makes our cities and make our countries, and trying to weave this big history or trying to contribute a little bit with them. So thank you again. And Irina, it's you now.
Okay. Well, Aguiar, and thank you all. It's been a pleasure for me. No, I don't speak Guarani fluently. I know words here and there, or I speak what they say Yopara, which is the mix of Guarani and Spanish. But it also, I will say that in this symposium, I felt so comfortable and so happy to be able to hear all these different ideas, and that were so useful for my thesis. I must say that the whole symposium was like super useful. I'm thankful to Leora because she was, always helping us and correcting and everything for the editing, and Fernando for including us. And it was just the word is not a pleasure. It was an honor to be in the presence of all of you and all the thinkers, and just have this exchange that is so productive. And hopefully, Fernando, soon we're gonna get that colloquium up and that topic running. But I'm enormously thankful to all of you for just having shared all these ideas and thoughts, and I don't know, just looking forward in the future to continue having or building this, what Victoria, you were saying, this needed space to have the conversation and expand the conversation, so we all feel included. And it's kind of relevant to all of us and many, many other histories and people that are waiting to be told and waiting to be studied. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Irina. Yes, I think it's really interesting for the students because they see the literature in the room. And we have to realize that we are becoming the literature in the room. I mean, I went to school and I studied reading some of you. You know who you are. I've said that so many times that I've read some of you when I was an undergraduate student. And then we start reading each other. And one of the great things of academia is that we kind of become friends and we get to meet 2 or 3 times per year and keep the conversation going. So it's a big honor to have all those friends in a colloquium and in a publication. And most important, to keep the conversation going. It's something that we thrive for that. I miss it a lot. I mean, I miss the fact that we are not, for a year and a half, we haven't been in the same room exchanging ideas. I mean, it's great to have this Zoom, but it's not the same. It's something we're missing a lot here. Last week, I went for the first time to another university to talk after a year and a half, and I went to Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I think they figured it out. They are in a small town. They have mask mandates, vaccine mandates, something that we don't here in Texas, and they're fully open. just wear the damn mask and you can be in an auditorium and have a conversation and have pizza with the students afterward. I miss that a lot. I was very positively impacted and happy and exuberant by participating on it again. So I'm really looking forward to being in the same room with all of you. I feel very grateful that we have this conversation going with this group and a few more that are not here today. It's not that big of a group. But it's great. I mean, we can fit everybody on a bus and go places together. I wonder if the people who join us today, Julieta, Raksha, Alice, Heather, James, have questions for you, for any of us. Before I bring the tequila.
Actually, I don't have any questions. I would just want to say congratulations. I think this is a great initiative. I think it's very important for us students, as you said yourself. I'm a PhD student, I'm just finishing. And all of these ideas and these questions and the texts and the panels and gatherings have been important to help me think through my work. So I want to say congratulations, and I hope there are many more publications coming and we can meet at events and talk more about these questions. Congratulations to you guys. It's great work.
Thank you, Alice.
I guess I'll second that. Hi, I know some of you, it's nice to see you. Just congratulations, and it's very encouraging. I'm excited to read the book. I studied architecture in my undergrad, and I would say was quite kind of disheartened by the sort of trends of more general architecture to be sort of very capitalist oriented. And so I'm just excited to kind of read other ways of like understanding the built environment. And yeah, and hopefully, to Fernando's point, I really missed the gatherings. The colloquium was super important in sort of just shaping me as a early career scholar. So hopefully in the next couple of years it can happen again. But congratulations.
Thank you, Raksha. We are very positive that we'll do it again in 2023. So Irina is working on that. There should be a call sometime in the middle of next year for 2023. I think next year is a little too early for that. Too early for other organization, but we hope to have something for 23. Should we bring the tequila then? I think, okay, I'll go downstairs and get it. Give me 3 minutes, I'll get mine, everybody get theirs. Okay, cool.
I'll get my wine.
I'll see you in 3 minutes.
I was ready already.
You're
Okay. I have my Don Julio here, which is for very special occasions.
Unfortunate, and por lástima no tengo tequila, que es muy bueno también, pero va de vino nomás.
No es mala opción, Ruth.
No, es buenísimo. Es un Malbec argentino muy bueno.
Pero podemos contar la historia de la cena, la última noche, mas no la última cena.
Claro que sí.
Aquí estábamos Kathleen,
Sí.
Luis, yo.
Nos
Sí,
fuimos a cenar, Kate, Ruth y yo, al hotel ese que está ahí en el campus de Austin, y llega el mesero y nos dice, ¿qué quieren? Tequila.
Ah, un cóctel, no, pura.
Wow.
Purita, no más. Nos vi a las tres señoras a tomar tequila.
¿Asustaron el mesero?
Sí, se asustó.
Now, the other story is that Felipe and I have worked together for 15 years, I guess, since 2006, the first seminar in the UK. And in 2019, we were at the SAH in Providence, and we just went down to the streets to have a beer and talk about a few things we wanted to brainstorm and maybe do together. And then the colloquium came out of that. The number of the arc came out of that. And now 2 books came out of that. So it was the most productive beer ever. So cheers.
Cheers,
Yes.
Fernando.
What time is it in your country now? It's probably very late.
It's in Brazil. It's 7.
In the
41.
UK?
Felipe is in your country.
I'm in Manizales.
No kidding. I didn't know.
Yes, just a couple of hours away from you.
Ah, great.
Congratulations, Lara.
Te iba a pedir que compartieras el
I'm
artículo
from
que
India.
dices, que del periodista.
La columna.
¿De quién es?
Sí, se los tengo en El Espectador, sí, se los comparto con mucho gusto.
Compártela.
Es
Hay que responderle a estos periodistas.
Sí, le chusa mucho a los decolonialistas. Pero está bien, tiene que haber de eso. Ya mismo les comparto el link.
Congratulations, Mr. Lara. And I think I'll leave now. It's 4
Thank
a.m.
you.
in the morning here in India.
Oh,
And it's quite exciting to hear all of you from all of the globe.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I got to know about your book through a friend named Shumi Bose.
Okay.
She's in the UK.
Yes, he was a student
Yeah,
here.
big hi to her once if you
I will.
ever have to speak to her.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I heard that the government of Brazil was going to sell the Ministry of Education in Rio.
We made. Have you signed the petition against that?
I did,
organized-
yes, I did,
Yeah.
but I don't know the outcome of it.
Oh, it's just they are just frying us in cold water. They say, wow, it's not anymore in the list, but it's actually not in the main list, but it's in a side list, and they are still looking for